Hey, what's good, faithful? It's your boy AB from the Bay to LA. Hey, what's going on, man? The season is upon us. The last preseason game just happened. It was exciting. Almost went into overtime, but I guess there's no overtime in the preseason, which is cool. Don't want to, risk our players unnecessarily. But it's time, man. I am excited. I know you guys are. It's been an exhausting 4 or 5 years, though. But hey, it's time to get back at it. I hope y'all are recharged because this season is critical, as were the last ones. But I think we understand the sense of urgency now. I think we understand, especially after seeing how Ayuk and some of these situations are playing out. Think we understand how how our window could close. I think it's going to be open for a while, but if we don't get a few things right, our window could definitely shrink. And so it's time to get on this quest for six. And hey, bang bang. So do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment to the channel. I'm gonna be doing all Niner content. I love this. I hope y'all do too. And let's get into a few things. Just heading into this season, right? There's a couple things that I'm really looking at right now that I believe is going to determine our immediate future and our long-term future, and both are just as important. For right now, I think that the real thing that we have to worry about is three things for me. One is Ayuk. Okay, what are we gonna do there? Because obviously we need him if we want to win a Super Bowl. I know fans are frustrated. I see it every day. I'm frustrated. I see fans saying, "Oh, trade him. We don't like him. He's a diva." I don't agree with all of that, man. I do think he's handled it the wrong way, but you guys, come on, man. You guys got to remember this kid has played hard for us. He's busted his ass to get to where he's at, an all-pro wide receiver. He's not a diva and he's not selfish. He's just having some antics that we don't necessarily agree with. But we all know we're better with him on the team. So let's not act like, "Oh, just trade him away. I'm so tired of it. Trade him." Like, I get it, we're tired, but it's like, what is this tiredness really doing to us? It's doing nothing. It's just us reading and looking and saying, "Oh man, come on." Like, don't let your frustrations cloud your judgment here. Brandon Ayuk is an all-pro wide receiver, and we need him if we want to win the Super Bowl. If we have to trade him, then hey, that's what happens. He's no longer on the team. But while he's still on the team, let's not act like he's not that guy. He's very good. He's an all-pro, and we need him on the team. So that's the first thing. Second thing is some of our injuries with Hufunga. Where is he at? Last week we got an update. He's doing better. He's ramping up. He's going to be practicing soon because he's going to be extremely important to our defense if we want to win a Super Bowl. We didn't have him last year, and we definitely could have used him in the Super Bowl and during the season, especially with the run stop. So we're going to see where he's at. By all accounts, he should be ready soon. Will he be ready for week one? Not sure, but he'll be ready soon. But that's going to be extremely important to us getting back on track and getting our defense back on track. And the other one is, speaking of defense, is Greenlaw. And speaking of the Super Bowl, is Greenlaw. We all know if we had Greenlaw the whole game, the outcome could have been different, or probably would have been different. That's how important he is. He's damn. I don't think he made All Pro, but he's damn near an All Pro, and in my eyes, he is. So when you have a player like that go out, that's a huge significant fall off, and we saw it. So we're hoping for Greenlaw. We haven't heard a lot of updates on him, which probably means he's not close, which makes sense. He just tore his Achilles in February, and we're in August. That's not that long, man. Back in the day, it used to take a whole year, a full calendar year for players to come back from that. So technology and science has gotten a lot better, so they're healing a lot faster. But don't rush it back because we're going to need you for the long haul. You're one of the best linebackers in the game, so we need you. So yeah, those are my three things going into this season that I'm looking at and I'm concerned about right now. Is Ayuk's contract, Hufanga, his health, and Greenlaw's health. Because we're going to need all three of those guys to compete at the highest level and finally bring home this sixth trophy. We're going to need them despite how we may feel about anything. And then the next thing is more for our long-term future, right? I just discussed Ayuk and his contract, and Purdy's contract is coming up. Speaking of contract, Trent Williams, but I'm not worried about the Trent Williams contract, situation. That's why I'm not really speaking on it. I think there's a lot of factors going on, and I don't think any of them are extremely concerning. I think this is, how he wants it to play out and kind of how the team wants it to play out, and he'll be ready, suited up week 1. I don't have any doubt about that. But what we're going to need to do though for the future is and it seems like we got a good step on it, is our rookies, drafting and developing our rookies so the next year they'll be ready to fill in some roles, because next year we're going to lose some players. We're definitely going to lose some players. So when you draft someone like Purcell and Cowing, that was probably with the idea that we were going to lose Debo next season. Who knew that this whole IU thing would turn out the way it has? But I think at the draft, that's why we drafted these guys, is because they were going to, try to fill in some roles and develop this year, but be ready for next year when we have to lose probably Debo. And so when you have, Purcell and Cowing, those guys, well, Cowing definitely. We haven't seen Purcell. There's a lot of, commentary going on with him right now, and it's a little disappointing, but we'll see how it plays out. Sometimes you just got to see how things play out. But we've been able to see Cowing, and I think, we've all been pretty happy and pretty satisfied with the kid. He's looking good. He's fast, and he can bring an element we haven't seen in Kyle Shanahan's offense for us at all. And that's blowing off the top, a speedy receiver that's an actual threat. I believe he could do that. We'll see if he develops into that. But if he does, man, we're already a number 1 offense. So you're going to add a whole different element to a number 1 offense, and it's already hard to stop us. It's going to be even harder when you got to worry about somebody, running past you for a 50-yard, 60-yard bomb. So it's going to be interesting to see how he develops. But we're going to need him and Purcell to develop, because next season they're going to be so important to what we're trying to accomplish. And the same thing goes with Ricardo Green. He's looking really good. It's just preseason and it's just camp, so it has to translate out to, the actual game. But he's looking good, and he's somebody that, we're going to need to develop well, because next season, when you have an All-Pro Travarius Ward and maybe a soon-to-be All-Pro Deontay Lamore, there's going to be choices that they're going to have to be made there, and one, if not both of them, could be gone at the end of next season. And if that happens, we're going to need Green to be able to step in and fill in his role and help. And the beauty of all of those things is how much they cost, right? These guys are cheap, and these are how you keep your Super Bowl windows open, by getting players, on the cheap, basically, because we see what we're paying for our superstars. So we have to balance it out and find good, cheap talent. And if we nail a draft, and so far it's looking pretty good, then that's going to go a long way to helping us the next 2 or 3, 4 years, especially with balancing these books and all these contracts. So we really need these guys to perform, and we really need them to be developed. And speaking of developed, someone that already looks like he's developed and he's ready is Pooney. I believe he's looking like he's going to be our starting offensive lineman for at least the next 4 or 5 years. The way he's looking, I mean, he looks amazing. He looks great, and I'm glad we finally drafted an offensive lineman that looks like he's going to start for us and have a significant impact. Like I said, guys, if we want to win a Super Bowl, all these things tie in together. If we want to win one this year, and if we want to win one the year after or the year after that, all of these things tie in together, and it's all going to be important. And we're heading into the season, guys. It's time. It is time. We're gonna ramp up. We're gonna be talking shit. It is time. A lot of people like to talk about us Niners, right? They like to talk about the Niners and laugh at them, but the joke's on you. We win a lot of games. We've been to Super Bowls. We haven't won it, obviously, and that's what you can joke about. But what have you done? Where have you gone? Where are you sitting at? Where are you sitting late January, early February? Are you watching other teams, or are you watching your team? Are you cheering for your team in the Super Bowl? If you're not, I don't want to hear what you got to say, especially you Cowboy fans, you Eagle fans, all of y'all. You Raider fans, if you guys are not in the playoffs consistently competing, I don't give a damn what you got to say, man. So we gonna move on with that, but just understand the Niners are for real, and that's why everybody's always talking about us. We haven't won the big one yet, but we are on our way, and we're going to get it. You better believe that. And speaking of getting that Super Bowl, the boy that's going to lead us to it, Brock Purdy. A lot of people had a lot to say after his first preseason game. You know, this is what we're gonna live with Brock. If he has a bad game because just of who he is and his story, everyone's gonna pile on. You know, it's just nature of the beast now. And us Niner fans, we know what we have. And last night he showed what he is. He came out crisp, looking good. You know, first play hit Debo. Second drive hit Kittle. You know, he looks amazing, and he is amazing. And one thing we don't have to worry about is our quarterback position for the next 5 to 7 years, easily. Don't have to worry about it. He's the truth, and he's shown it. Despite what all these haters and all these naysayers have to say, Brock Purdy is better than your quarterback, unless your quarterback plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's how that goes. So, speaking of quarterbacks, our second quarterback, well, I believe he should be our second quarterback, Dobbs. He's looked fantastic. It's just preseason, but he's looked fantastic. And I believe with Kyle Shanahan's offense, that will help him. I mean, any quarterback that's in Shanahan's offense can, you know, find some success. And with his athleticism, his toughness, his smarts, I think he can be an excellent quarterback too for us. And I think, you know, injuries happen and things happen. And if he has to fill in for, like, you know, 2-3 games, I think he could hold the ship for us and get us where we need to go. Can he fill in for half a season or 5 or 6 games? That would be tough. That would be tough. But I do believe the kid has enough to, you know, hold the fort down for us if we ever need him to. He looked really good. And, you know, hopefully we don't have any, you know, injuries or anything that happened from now until the season during practice. But, you know, I feel we fairly came out okay. I know we had some injuries to our linemen. I know Floyd is injured, but hopefully he's okay. We'll hear more about that today. But that's going to be key too. And so far we haven't had like a real significant injury, knock on wood, you know, that has derailed us. So this preseason or camp. So that was really good. I'm glad we got out of there without losing, you know, some really key starters or anything like that for a significant time. So we're off to the good start, man. You know, we're 2 weeks away from kickoff. It's time, guys. The quest for 6 starts. And, it's time to go. You know, we're going to be fighting all these other fans and we're going to be fighting each other. But it's time to go. And it's time, baby. So that's all I'm going to leave y'all with, man. It's your boy AB from the Bay to LA. We're going to be talking a lot, you know, coming up because it's go time. It's the season. We on that quest for 6. And bang, bang, Niner gang. Do me a favor. Subscribe, like the channel if you like what you hear, man. I'll get with y'all later. Peace.